Hi, my name's Janelle and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing part 3 of my journey on creating an ethical wardrobe. In this video, I'm going to be replicating clothing that I've seen and loved on Instagram. So basically, instead of just clicking through the links and purchasing the item, I'm going to have a go at making them instead. Let's just jump straight into it, shall we? The first item that I'm really excited to share with you is this blouse here that I'm wearing. I got the inspiration for this blouse from this image here by Instagram, who is wearing a blouse that is originally from H&M, I believe. I love this blouse design. I love the ruffled detail across the front and the ruffles on the neckline as well. And I also think the ruffles and the polka dots together are a match made in heaven, and I just think it's an adorable blouse and one I definitely wanted to recreate for myself. As you can see, I have done my best to get the ruffles along the front here, and they go along the back as well. And I've also got this ruffled neckline that I've replicated from the blouse too, instead of just a normal collar. So I'll show you now how I went about making this blouse. The fabric I'm using for this blouse is this adorable polka dot crepe fabric. I love it so much. I think it's just the cutest thing, and I think with the ruffles, it's gonna just look adorable. And I've got a base blouse pattern that I have drafted up myself, which I'm going to be using today, but obviously it's going to be a bit of trial and error when it comes to putting the ruffles on the front of the blouse. I'm not sure how I'm going to go about that, but we'll just give it a go and see what happens, I guess. First things first, I cut out all of the pattern pieces. I had to use a lot of pins as the crepe fabric loves to move around a bit, making it a little tricky to cut. Then I started to sew the blouse together. I decided to make the base of the blouse first, so I would be able to try it on and play around with the ruffles a little bit. Once the base was done, it was time to take a long rectangle of fabric and make it into a ruffle long enough to cover the front, the sleeves, and the back as well. I then splayed the blouse out flat and started to pin the ruffle onto the blouse, starting at the centre of the back and using the image I showed earlier as a reference. I then tried the blouse on to make sure the ruffles were pinned in the right place and that it looked good while wearing. Once I was happy with how it looked, I sewed the ruffle onto the blouse, being careful not to catch any other layers of fabric as I sewed. Once the ruffle was attached, I made the buttonhole bands. Then it was time to make the amazing ruffled collar. To make the collar, I took another long rectangle of fabric and gathered it to make another ruffle. I then pinned and sewed the ruffle onto the collar bands and then pinned the collar at the neck onto the blouse. I sped this process up for the video, but it was really fiddly to do, especially because I was working with crepe fabric, so even though it might look easy here, trust me when I tell you it wasn't. Then all that was left to do was to finish the sleeves, sew the sides together, hem the blouse, and then I made the buttonholes. So, how does it look? I'm really happy with how this blouse has turned out. The crepe fabric is just nice and lightweight, so I think this one will be a great one to wear in the warmer months, but also will be really lovely to layer in the colder months as well. I just think that this blouse is going to be one of my favourites in my wardrobe for a very long time. The next item I have to show you is this adorable burnt orange dress that I have made from the loveliest cotton fabric. The inspiration for this dress came from an image by Noelle and Fox, who is wearing a dress by linen handmade studio, and as soon as I saw it, I just fell in love with it and thought it was my dream dress. I really wanted to make this dress as I thought it would be a perfect one to wear during summer with my high top trainers, as just like an everyday easy basic throw on outfit. The skirt is really quite gathered, which gives it a really flattering waistline. It's also got a really high neckline here, which gives it a nice boxy kind of shape, but is super comfortable and yeah, just really effortless, I think, just to throw on. It also has these cute little sleeves, and then because it has got such a high neckline, I decided to make the skirt a little bit shorter than most of my dresses in my wardrobe because yeah, I just thought that would give it a really cute look. To make this dress, I used my perfect dress pattern that I've shared in a previous video. I'll leave a link to that video below if you'd like to download the pattern and have a go at making this dress for yourself. I also share a step-by-step tutorial in that video on how to make this dress, so I'm not going to repeat how I make it here, but if you want the details on how I made this dress, then be sure to go check out that video. Instead, I'm just going to show you a super satisfying sped up time lapse of me making this dress. I am so happy with this dress, and I can already tell it's going to be one of those dresses that I just will reach out for every single day during summer. It's just such an easy one to wear and one of my favorite colors at the moment. And I think it does look really similar to the dress that Noelle and Fox is wearing. So yeah, really happy. And the last item I have to show you is this gingham kind of maxi length dress. I was inspired to make this one after seeing an image by Rosery, who was wearing this adorable dress with this kind of gathered tiered skirt, and I fell in love with it. With this dress, it has again quite a high neckline and then only a slightly gathered skirt. But then at the bottom of the dress is where the fun really happens. It's got this extra piece of fabric here that is a lot more gathered than the actual skirt waistline, which creates such a cute little flounce at the bottom of the dress, and I think it's just such a fun design and something completely different to anything I've got in my wardrobe currently. Again, for this dress, I used my perfect dress pattern, which is linked in the description below, but instead of adding sleeves, I've made the bodice lined and sleeveless. I did this by cutting out the bodice pieces in a lining fabric and repeated the steps for the bodice for the lining fabric as well. Then, with right sides together, I placed the lining onto the bodice fabric and sewed along the neck and armhole edges. I'm actually planning to make a tutorial on how I made this exact dress, so if that's something you might be interested in, then let me know in the comments below. Once the bodice was done, it was time to make the skirt. To make the skirt, I cut out 2 rectangles, one slightly wider and shorter than the other. I start by gathering and sewing the longer of the 2 rectangles onto the dress bodice. I then gather and sew the shorter of the rectangles, which is also wider, so needs a lot more gathering than the first rectangle, and then I pinned and sewed it to the bottom of the first rectangle. Then I finished off the dress by sewing the back seam and adding an invisible zip. So, how does it look? So yeah, I'm really happy with how this dress has turned out, and I think it's the perfect addition to my wardrobe, and it's gingham, so what more can I say? So I hope you enjoyed this video. please let me know down in the comments which outfit was your favorite. I really can't choose. I'm so torn between the three of them, and I'm so relieved and happy that they actually turned out. All three of them turned out exactly as I'd hoped. So yeah, I'm really excited to have three beautiful new pieces for my wardrobe. If you did enjoy this video, then be sure to give it a like and subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos like this one, and come and find me on Instagram at Rosery Apparel if you'd like to see some of the other things I make. Thanks for watching.